Hey guys, just another really quick real numbers video. Now I've already covered this twice, Logan and briefly in Monday's video, and then kind of a couple weeks ago in a more broad form discussion-based concept topic video of how much Logan's going to make and its impact on the box office. Now this is something that I didn't actually think I was going to need to say. I will be linking those videos in the description below if you really want to go, I guess, see exactly what we were talking about in those particular videos. But honestly, this is something that I feel like is kind of worth mentioning. Now, Deadline has put up its predictions for this upcoming weekend today, and they're basically predicting somewhere along the lines of 65 million to 70 million domestically, and then about 105 to 130 million opening internationally. So anywhere between about 130 anywhere between 170 to 200 million opening weekend. This is a significant opening, especially for an R-rated film, when it comes to the superhero genre, because lo and behold, a lot of people have not necessarily thought that superhero movies that are rated R could actually make that much money for the longest time. They've really kind of fought this for the last last 2 decades or even longer if you want to just keep stretching it back. And obviously this would probably be one of the more significant openings, one of the more significant movies, especially blockbusters of this year. So it's going to be really interesting to see where this movie ends up. Honestly, I've made my prediction somewhere around that a couple weeks back, around 60 to 65 million. So it does sound like that's actually what's going to actually end up being true. I should note that boxoffice.com, another great source for anyone who wants to, look up box office predictions or anything. Technically, the places I use: boxoffice.com, Box Office Mojo, The Numbers, Deadline, Variety. Just basically anything that you find as soon as you Google. Box Office Guru is also kind of a fun read. Everyone has their different preferences, their different stats they use. Pretty much the same stats, but everyone has their different opinions on how things shake up. So it's actually good to get a more of a broad range. Anyway. So this is actually something that I thought was pretty cool, just because, Logan is one of those films that, once in a lifetime type of films. Obviously, it's not as easy to make a film like Deadpool, although that was a huge success just because of, I guess, the build up to it. Also, Ryan Reynolds, just unbelievable passion towards the character and everything. I honestly don't think we're actually going to see just how popular and successful Deadpool is, no matter how great that film was and no matter how much money that movie made, until we see how the second one performs in the theaters, box office wise, because like I said, just kind of a once in a lifetime film, great marketing, something that was never really done before, and they had a lot of fun with it. If they can replicate that, it's going to be really interesting, but I'm not necessarily sure they're actually going to be able to replicate it in the exact same way. Will it make money? Yes, it will make money, especially if, everything kind of pans out the way they want to. But just kind of looking at this, Hugh Jackman being basically Logan, or playing the Wolverine character for the last, almost 2 decades now. And obviously he's aged out of the role. Not necessarily, he still looks really good for his age, but he's aging out of the role, and him kind of retiring in a film like this is somewhat of a, a touchstone for everyone basically going into this. We've grown up with this character, myself included, very young when these original movies came out, and actually it's going to be really interesting to see them advance and grow this character, get him a nice send-off, not just him, but also Professor X as well, Patrick Stewart, who's also been there since the beginning. So it's going to be really interesting. I really hope this movie does make a lot of money. I hope it has a really good impact, but at the same time, it is a little bit scary just how much impact this movie can make on the concept of what is acceptable in terms of superhero movies. And that's a whole nother video for another day, another real numbers, or just a movie discussion in general. But either way, I feel like this is the type of film that we really should be excited for. I think everyone who's listening to this film has already decided to go see it. I feel like 170 million, 200 million opening is going to be very significant, especially for even just a moderate superhero movie. Obviously, Wolverine isn't necessarily moderate, but as I talked about in that longer video, they've done everything they can to make it as distinct as possible and not necessarily connected to the X-Men movies and everything. And usually that kind of separation from something that has such a, already already huge market and already huge audience for what it is something you don't necessarily see every day, and it seems like it's going to definitely pay off in the long run. So that's going to be really interesting to see. But anyway, I'm just going to leave it at that. That's what Deadline's kind of saying. I'll put just a couple links so you can go see and make your own predictions and everything, and we'll watch the numbers this weekend. We'll see what actually ends up happening. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you on the next Real Numbers video. Bye.